The three big rivals of the Asian Games battled it out in weightlifting tonight. AFKN Marchus Cummings was there to see these powerful men match their strength against some tremendous weight.
I think of weightlifting as more of a hobby than a sport, but don't tell weightlifters at the 10th Asian Games that. Tonight at Olympic Park Gymnasium, they proved that weightlifting is indeed a sport, a demanding sport.
7 lifters from 6 different countries went for the gold tonight in the men's 132-pound and below weightlifting finals. Tonight's competition consisted of 2 different types of lifts, snatch and clean and jerk. The snatch competition kicked off tonight's finals. In that category, China's Li Runming grabbed first place. Li, who won a silver medal in the same event in the 1984 Olympics, broke the existing Asian Games record with a lift of over 286 pounds. Japan's Hiroki Yosuke captured second, and Lee Myung-soo from Korea took third. In the snatch and jerk segment, China's Runming and Yosuke from Japan shared first place with a successful lift of 341 pounds. Korea's Lee Myung-soo finished second in the category with a lift of 324.5 pounds. Combine the 2 lifts and you have our final category, total lift. In that category, China's Li Runming clinched a gold with a total lift of 627 pounds, another new Asian Games record. Japan's Hiroki Yosuke finished second to win the silver with a total of 280.5 pounds, and Korean Lee Myung-soo clinched the bronze with a combined lift of 247.5 pounds. The weightlifting competition continues tomorrow with the men's 148-pound and under finals action. That'll get underway tomorrow night at 6 at Olympic Park Gymnasium. Army Sergeant Mark Cummings, AFKN News, Olympic Park.
China once again showed their might in a different sport, gymnastics. Olympic gold medalist Li Ning proved to be too much for all challengers today. His near-perfect performance tonight brought his team another gold medal. Here you see him on the rings. Li's closest challengers were his teammates Yang Yunshan and Lo Yun. China stole the show tonight and took home the gold, silver, and bronze. Korea almost took home another gold medal in the shooting competition today, but just couldn't hold on. In the men's small-bore free rifle competition, Korea's Nam Hong-oh was leading Japan in the final round by 2 points, but couldn't keep the lead. Japan's Ryohei Koba outshot Nam by over 5 shots to take the gold. Korea came in second for the silver, with China taking the bronze.
Sounds like the competition was pretty fierce out there, Brian.
Yes, Daniela, in that last shooting match, 5 points. Korea was leading into the final round, but just couldn't hold on. And if they could have, they would have nabbed another gold medal for Team Korea today. Would have been some good news.
Well, before you go, could you give us any idea of all the events out there at the Asian Games, which ones are the biggest crowd pleasers?
Well, I had a chance to talk with a special assistant to the president of SAGOC today, Mr. Chun Sang-chin, and he told me that the attendance rates at the gymnastics and swimming competitions were at full capacity right now, which is quite surprising for them because in the past, gymnastics and swimming were not popular events for Korean people here. And there are a lot of interesting other events happening out here, for example, basketball and basketball and gymnastics.
Gymnastics. All right. Thanks a lot, Brian.
Oh, thank you.
All right. As of the many events at the Asian Games, one of this year's new additions is the Taekwondo competition. Taekwondo has a long reputation here.
He'll get him.
All right. Thanks a lot, George.
We'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow night. In Asian Games wrestling competition, only wrestlers, of course, can receive medals. But wrestling officials are turning in top-notch performances at the Games as well. One referee from Yongsan is just tickled pink to be officiating the 10th Asiad. AFKN's Mark Cummings has the story from Sangmu Gymnasium.
For Major Mike Horton of Headquarters Company 1st Signal Brigade, it's something that words just can't describe. When Horton's not at work, serving as the brigade's tactical plans officer, he's refereeing and judging wrestling matches. Now through October 4th, he's pursuing his serious hobby here at the 10th Asian Games, refereeing matches in the Greco-Roman and freestyle wrestling events. Horton's been refereeing for 8 years. He started while being stationed in Germany. It was while refereeing an international tournament in California 2 years ago that he was spotted. A delegation from the Asian Games later invited him to work the 10th Asiad, an offer Horton is most proud of.
I couldn't be more highly honored. This is considered a continental championship. It's one level lower, if you will, than the Olympic Games, and so to be tendered that invitation and that honor is just very, very special. I'm deeply honored.
Horton's become very involved with the sport of wrestling. He's either started or worked in a wrestling program ever since his start in the sport 8 years ago. As luck would have it, Horton's tour in Korea will extend beyond the 1988 Olympics here in Seoul. And of course, he'd like to get involved in that. But for now, his attention is turned towards the Asian Games. October 4th is the last day for wrestling competition here at the 10th Asiad, something Horton will definitely hate to see come to an end.
Officials and wrestlers as a whole have a big bond. I mean, that man's from Iran, and I've seen him before, and I've worked with this guy. He's from Hungary, for example, Mr. Azuma from Japan. They're all really nice people to be around and to work with, so I'm going to be a little sad.
But for the time being, Major Mike Horton is having the time of his life, judging pins, takedowns, and escapes during the 10th Asian Games. Army Sergeant Mark Cummings, AFKN News, at Songmu Gymnasium outside of Seoul.
The toughest competition for China in men's basketball may be Korea, but from the way the host team played today, the Korean squad may not make it to the finals. AFKN's Mark Cummings has this report.
Kicked off today's basketball preliminaries with a contest against Jordan. Considered by many as the favorite to win the gold medal, Korea expected little trouble in disposing Jordan in this round-robin tournament. However, what they got here today was, to say the least, a scare. Korea knew it was in for a ball game from the start. They managed to grab a 10-3 lead early on, but their outside shooting, something they heavily rely on, wasn't there. With Jordan muscling for rebounds and connecting for baskets on follow-up shots, Korea held only a 49-47 lead at halftime. In the second half, Jordan continued to dominate the offensive and defensive boards. They took the lead at 58-55 with over 16 minutes left. They cushioned their lead to 12, 80-68 with 8 minutes remaining, and it looked like there was going to be a major upset early. But Korea stayed within range as they started connecting from the outside. The host team pulled within 2 with 56 seconds left, and after a game-tying basket and rebound, Korea's Ho Jae drove the lane for the winning layup. Korea's Lee Jung-hee preserved the victory with a steal and 2 last-second free throws. Leading the way for Korea were Lee Jung-hee with 33 points, while teammates Kim Hyung-jun and Ho Jae added 27 and 13 respectively. Korea's next game, Wednesday against Japan. Game time is set for 4:30 at Chamsil Gymnasium. Mark Cummings, AFKN News, Asian Games Complex.
During the Asian Games, there have been many hard-working people behind the scenes who have either been overlooked or just taken for granted. AFKN's Mark Cummings found some American radio operators in the athletes' village who, while serving the athletes and officials, are at the same time hamming it up.
In amateur radio, English is the universal language. So when the Korean Amateur Radio League needed an around-the-clock ham radio operator who spoke English, they received the services of the American Amateur Radio Club of Korea. Now until the end of the Asian Games, 5 Americans from the club are assisting the Korean ham radio enthusiasts in the operation of the ham radio station located in the athletes' village. The station has 2 missions. First, to provide athletes and officials with an interest in ham radio the necessary equipment to pursue their hobby while here at the Games, and to contact ham radio stations around the world with a greeting from the 10th Asiad's host city. Lieutenant Colonel Steve Haynes, one of the 5 American radio operators working at the station, says assisting the Korean ham radio operators during the Games is more than just enjoying a hobby.
It's important. It's a public service. It highlights the Korean Amateur Radio League, and it highlights American involvement and participation in amateur radio over in Korea. And we think it's important. We'd like to get much more active internationally with the various clubs throughout the Pacific Basin.
By working together, the American and Korean radio operators have reached over 6,000 stations from around the world
over the last 2 weeks. According to Bae Suk-hwa, a Korean Amateur Radio League member, the Americans have been of great assistance.
They are not only helping us, but also working together. They give us a very big help.
Providing a service to Asian Games athletes and officials, and at the same time pursuing their hobby. That's the mission of the 5 members of the American Amateur Radio Club of Korea, working around the clock during the 10th Asiad. Army Sergeant Mark Cummings, Athletes Village.
It was